What's going on, guys? It is Jack here, and today I'm super excited to show you one of my favorite MOCs I think I've ever made. Now, if you're a teenager like myself, you've probably heard of the Wii. Chances are, if you're a teen like myself, you've probably at least played on the Wii at least once in your lifetime, and it was probably your favorite childhood console, at least it was for me. Better than the PlayStation, the Xbox, I loved the Wii. Even when I got the Xbox 360 way back in the day, I still preferred playing New Super Mario Bros. On the Wii and playing Mario Kart on the Wii Sports. It was something else. Now, recently, I've actually picked up a game that I used to love playing as a kid. Everybody loves playing this game. If you played this game before, you know it's a great party game. Everyone loves it. It's fun to play with friends. Now, because I picked this game back up and I love it so much and I love playing it, I had to do it justice and I had to make a LEGO MOC of it. So today, I'm presenting you with my very first ever creation of Mario Kart Wii. Now, I will go ahead and say, what's funny is that this track is not actually a Mario Kart Wii track. This track is a little snippet of an N64 Bowser's Castle, so don't hate on me for that. It is in the Mario Kart Wii game, and that's why I built it, but the kart for this MOC is from Mario Kart Wii. I just like this track a whole lot, so forgive me. But I will go ahead and say that this MOC is in collaboration with Avaki. He decided to make Bowser's Castle from New Super Mario Bros. Wii, so we both made a Bowser's Castle. They were just different ones. Now, jumping right into this MOC, I want to go ahead and talk about the general layout. This is actually accurate to a certain portion of the track from the N64 Bowser's Castle. It's just scaled down slightly. The track actually goes from right to left here. You drift around a corner on the right here, and you go on this rickety bridge, and it leads you under this archway onto this spiral portion of the track that will take you almost to the finish line. So I had to make it here. It's just one of the best parts of the track because it leads you on to the final checkpoints, and you get to see these ultra shortcuts. It's just fun. I like this part of the track. It's one of my favorite Bowser's Castles I've ever raced on. It was actually a toss-up on what I wanted to make first. I almost went with another Bowser's Castle, the one from the Wii, and I almost went for Toad's Factory, but I went towards this just because I wanted to test out this bridge. So this bridge right before you is actually flexible, and it's funny because it's built on a bendy tube, so you can actually flex these wooden panels around if you wanted to. Even though in the game it's not too rickety of a bridge, it's actually pretty sturdy, and really the only threat is falling off. So I recreated the bends in the track on this rickety bridge. That way you can't actually fall off if your handling and steering is pretty dang awful. Now, one of the tricky things about Mario Kart Wii and pretty much any Wii game in general is that it's not very graphics intensive, so it's not too detailed. So unlike later Mario Kart games like Mario Kart 8 and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, this just doesn't have nearly the graphics that any other game has. So it just doesn't have a lot of detail, so I had to make sure that it was simplistic, but it also looked good. So to balance that out, I tried to make a perfect balance between the simplicity and the complexity. The dark gray walls, which are pretty much just the general facades for the entire castle, they're made of a bunch of greebling, which is heavily detailed, but from far away you can barely see it, which I think is a perfect match. And everything around it is aimed to look simplistic, like it's pulled straight out of Mario, but there are some pretty cool techniques in here. For example, the bridge, which I already explained, the curved Bowser's Castle roof, which I think is actually really awesome. The archway is also really cool. It's got some ingot pieces to give it some more texture. Even though it's pretty simplistic in its design, all I did here was attach some clips and some bracket pieces to a bendy tube, and that made the archway that you drive into right after you get off the bridge, which I think looks really cool. And the track on the other side, which is actually what you drive on first, is actually a brickwork layout, but just on its side. Now, to me, this actually screams Mario at me. It looks like Mario to me just because of the way the bricks are laying out. This is one of my new favorite techniques to use for floors just because it looks really cool. It adds a cool layout, and you can see tiles that are separated by a plate distance. I just think it looks really good. This same flooring is in my Snape's Potion Classroom MOC. I used the same thing. It's just a slightly different scale, but next to that flooring is another facade for Bowser's Castle, but also the infamous green bushes that if you're not careful, you'll crash into them on this portion of the track and you'll just get stuck. You gotta be careful where you mushroom. The final part of the track is the lava underneath the bridge, which I think it looks okay. It's the same technique I used in my Mount Doom MOC, which is not my favorite technique for lava, but it's pretty much all I can do with the amount of pieces I have. I did add some little squirts or spurts of lava that are going up that you can obviously crash into, but if you're crashing into them, you're gonna fall off anyway, so. But to finalize this MOC, I had to make it very iconic, so I painted my own custom Mario, actually inspired by Avaki. I'll leave his video linked down below where I actually got the inspiration to paint this figure, but this is 100% custom painted. I spent a couple hours trying to design this figure and make sure he looked right. In his standard cart, I actually made before I painted the figure just to make sure I could actually nail it, and I love this thing. I love it so much. It's actually pretty simple to build, so I might do a tutorial on it later, but it looks really good, pretty accurate, minifigure scale, and Mario fits right in so he can race. I actually gave Mario a scared face because I made a blue shell, which is my least favorite kind of shell, that will target the player in first place, and maybe he's just in first place, zooming along, he's got a lead, final lap, he's gonna win it, but the blue shell comes out of nowhere, and he's all the way down to 6th. It's the pain that only real men know. But that's all there is to this MOC, so I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you stay tuned for future videos, because I'm gonna be doing a bunch more Mario MOCs from Super Mario, more Mario Kart games, new Super Mario Bros. Wii, just expect it all. And if you have any requests, go ahead and let me know down in the comments below. Check out Rowan's video because he made an awesome Bowser's Castle. But with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching, and most importantly, take care.